I want you to pause for a moment and imagine standing at the edge of a vast cliff. The wind is cold, the sky is darkening with clouds, and far below, the ocean crashes against jagged rocks. You feel the pull, the fear, the hesitation. What if I told you that life is a cliff and most of us are holding ourselves back from leaping into the happiness we deserve? There is a monk, an old man with eyes like still water, who once told me a lesson so shocking, so profoundly simple, that it shook me to my core. He said, "You are waiting for happiness as if it is a distant shore, but every moment you delay, you build walls that cage your own joy." I remember feeling confused, almost resistant, because we have been taught that happiness is something we earn after struggle, after achievement, after enough sacrifice. The world whispers, wait, work harder, suffer now, enjoy later. But the monk sitting silently beneath a tree whose roots clawed through the earth like ancient fingers, offered a different truth. The very act of postponing joy is the reason so many lives half-empty hearts, full of waiting pockets empty of laughter. Happiness is not a prize at the end of a finish line. It is the sunlight seeping through the cracks of your everyday life, and yet we blind ourselves, saying, "Not yet, not yet." I remember asking him, but isn't patience a virtue? Shouldn't we delay gratification to achieve greater things? He looked at me with a smile that was both tender and piercing, and he said, "Patience is a virtue when it serves your soul. But delaying your own life is a slow poison disguised as discipline. You are starving yourself while waiting to be fed." And suddenly I realized that the fear of being too early, too unprepared, too undeserving had been my invisible cage. The monk's lesson was clear. The longer you wait for happiness, the more it slips away like water seeping through your fingers. Think of a seed buried in the soil. You do not see its life above the surface, yet beneath it is already growing. But what if the gardener refused to water it, refused to expose it to sunlight, saying, "I will wait until the perfect day"? The seed might never grow, trapped by imagined preparation. In life, we are often that gardener postponing our own blooming. Every deferred smile, every delayed dream, every postponed act of love is a refusal to water our soul. And the shocking truth the monk revealed is that the universe does not reward waiting. It rewards presence, action, and the courage to embrace joy even when the world insists you must wait. He told me a story about a man who spent decades working tirelessly for wealth, thinking happiness would arrive with retirement, with a larger house, with recognition. But when he finally reached what he thought would be the summit of life, he found only emptiness, echoes of laughter lost to time, moments he could not reclaim. "Do you see?" The monk asked. "Happiness does not live in the future. It lives in the choices you make today. If you postpone your life, you postpone your soul. Imagine walking through a golden forest where every leaf is a moment of joy. If you rush past, always saying, "I'll come back for you later," the forest fades and the leaves fall into memory. The monk's words were a revelation. To delay happiness is to steal from yourself the most precious resource you will ever possess, time. I want you to ask yourself right now, what have you delayed? Is it a conversation you've been afraid to have? A dream you've convinced yourself is impossible? A gesture of love, an act of creativity, a moment of rest that your mind insists you do not deserve? The monk said, "Every delay is a thief, but the most cunning thief is the one you call your own reasoning." Our minds are clever architects of prisons. We justify the postponement of joy as prudence, discipline, or wisdom, but deep down we feel the quiet gnaw of regret. The monk taught me to listen to that gnaw, not to silence it, for it is the compass pointing to where life is being withheld from me. The lesson becomes even more striking when you consider suffering. Many believe suffering earns happiness, as if pain is a currency that must be spent before pleasure can be claimed. But the monk challenged this notion with a simple analogy. He asked me to imagine a river. If you always stand on the bank, waiting for the water to turn golden before you dip your hands, you will never feel its cool current. Yet if you enter the river now, even when it is cold and uncertain, you begin to understand its rhythm, its nourishment, its life. Happiness is not a treasure buried beyond the horizon. It is the water flowing around you, waiting for you to reach in. Waiting for a perfect moment is the illusion that robs you of the very currents meant to carry you forward. I remember sitting there watching the monk. He was so calm, so grounded, like a mountain unmoved by storms. I realized that he had mastered what most of us ignore, the art of presence. To be present is not merely to exist. It is to drink deeply from the cup of life in every instant, to find delight in the small, to let your spirit taste joy even amidst chaos. And in that realization, a shocking idea dawned on me. Perhaps all our rules about delayed gratification, our endless lists of later, are not instructions for living. They are excuses for fear. We fear disappointment, so we defer happiness. We fear vulnerability, so we postpone love. We fear inadequacy, so we delay our dreams. The monk's wisdom shattered these illusions. Fear is never a good reason to wait. Consider the metaphor of fire. A spark in the darkness is immediate. It illuminates, warms, transforms. But if you hide the spark, waiting for a perfect torch, the darkness does not pause, it swallows the spark. Happiness, like the spark, is fragile yet potent, demanding attention, care, and courage. The monk said, "Light your fire now, even if it flickers. Tomorrow may never come, and the shadows will only grow." And I understood. The shocking lesson is that waiting for happiness is not discipline, it is self-denial. Every moment you wait, every second you postpone, you are choosing absence over presence, delay over fulfillment, fear over joy. He also spoke of paradoxes, of the strange way life rewards those who embrace the now. You think waiting makes your harvest sweeter, but the sweetest fruit is tasted in the present, and sometimes the present is all you have. Those who delay too long discover that sweetness decays, that the fruit falls to the ground unclaimed, and regret grows in its place. I pictured a garden overflowing with color and fragrance, yet untouched by the gardener because he waited for the right season. The monk's message is clear. The right season is now. Not tomorrow, not next year, not after success or security or validation. Now is when life asks to be tasted, to be lived fully, to be acknowledged with gratitude and courage. We often confuse discipline with deprivation. We think, if I wait, I am strong. The monk would laugh gently and say, "No, you are merely patient with fear. Courage is what blooms when you act despite fear. Joy is what blooms when you allow yourself to bloom. Every time you defer your own life, you practice fear masquerading as virtue. Every smile you postpone, every risk you avoid, every dream you shelve is a testament to avoidance, not prudence." The monk's lesson is both shocking and liberating. The world will never guarantee your happiness, but you can claim it this moment, even in imperfection, even in uncertainty. Think about the ripple effect. When you embrace happiness now, it does not remain confined to you. It spreads like sunlight over a lake, touching every life, every relationship, every corner of your existence. Waiting, on the other hand, is contagious. Deferred joy becomes a shadow in your presence, a weight that dims others. The monk taught me that to delay happiness is not a private act, it echoes silently through the lives of everyone you encounter. Imagine if heeded his advice, if we each chose to live fully now, how much brighter the world could become. And yet, the hardest part of this lesson is confronting guilt. We are conditioned to feel guilty for joy, guilty for pleasure, guilty for living in a way that does not align perfectly with some imagined future. The monk shook his head and said, "Guilt is a chain forged by yesterday's fears. Happiness is the key that dissolves it. Do not wait for absolution. Forgive yourself now. Allow yourself to live now." I realized that so much of my hesitation, my waiting, had been an invisible web of guilt spun by expectations, by comparisons, by the illusion that life has a perfect timeline. The monk revealed that no timeline is perfect. There is only now, and if you do not claim it, you may find yourself old, accomplished, and empty. The lesson reached a crescendo when he asked me a question that pierced through every rationalization I had ever made. If you die tomorrow, would you be satisfied with a life of waiting? Or would you wish you had embraced joy when it knocked, even if imperfectly? I felt a chill. My mind raced through decades of deferred happiness, friendships postponed, laughter muted, love unspoken, art left uncreated. And I understood the shocking, almost unbearable clarity of his message. Life is not a rehearsal. It is happening now. Delaying happiness is not caution, it is theft. It is stealing from yourself the only currency that matters, the richness of lived experience. So how do we act on this knowledge? The monk gave practical, deceptively simple guidance. He said, start small. Begin with one act of joy today. Speak one truth. Offer one kindness. Create one piece of beauty. Laugh where you would have hesitated. Love where you would have withdrawn. The river flows now. Enter it. And I realize that the path to embracing happiness is not about grand gestures or monumental achievements. It is about micro moments, deliberate choices to step into life, to choose presence, to honor your own heart. Each moment you act on this principle, you break a chain, you reclaim a piece of yourself. The monk's wisdom can be summed up in a single, unforgettable idea. Happiness deferred is life denied. It is a simple sentence, yet within it lies a lifetime of transformation. Imagine holding a mirror to your soul, seeing the places you have postponed living and choosing now to act differently. Imagine feeling the wind of courage on your face, leaping into the river of your own life, tasting the sweetness of moments that might otherwise have passed unclaimed. That is the shock, the revelation, the urgent beauty of the lesson. Do not wait for tomorrow. Happiness is not something you chase after a long road. It is the road itself, the journey itself, and it can be embraced right now. I invite you to take a moment and reflect. What is one thing you have been delaying that could bring you joy if embraced today? What is one fear that has disguised itself as patience? What is one smile, one risk, one gesture, one word, one dream that could transform your life if you stop waiting and act now? Remember, the monk did not ask for perfection. He asked for presence. And in presence, you will find life, laughter, love, and the profound richness that is too often postponed. Life is short. Time is a river that never stops, no matter how long you wait. The wind of your own courage can carry you forward, or the weight of your fear can drag you backward. The choice is yours, and it has always been yours. The monk's lesson is not merely a philosophical musing. It is a call to action, a shock to the system, a reminder that happiness is not a destination but a companion, waiting at your side if only you dare to notice, to reach out, to embrace it. So start today. Smile first, speak first, love first, laugh first. Dance in the kitchen, write the poem, make the call. Take the risk, step into the river. Taste the sweetness of life before it drifts past. And remember that every moment you embrace now, you are claiming a piece of eternity. The monk's lesson, simple and shocking, is this: do not wait for happiness. Live it, breathe it, be it now. If this message resonates with you, if you feel the tug of delayed joy in your own life, I encourage you to take a small, deliberate action today that honors your happiness. Share in the comments what one thing you will do right now to step into joy. Like this video if it reminded you of the power of presence. And if you want more lessons, more reflections, and more echoes of greatness, subscribe to the channel and join this journey of mindful living and courageous action. The time is now, the river is flowing, and your life is waiting to be lived.